All right, welcome in. It is Jeff and Amy, and we are here to rock and roll
Rock
today.
and roll.
So, we're gonna kind of go through some. I feel like I do this basically with every episode, where it's like parenting slash fitness, but it's gonna be very heavy on that today, because Amy and I both had fairly significant milestones, we'll
That's
say,
the word.
with children this week. And I think that there's a lot to be gleaned from those experiences slash some of the other things that have been running around in my head for the last few weeks and just experiences with parenting and things that I'm thinking about. So let's start here. Amy, what did you do today?
My beautiful daughter graduated from 5th grade, which that's around here. That's when you transition to the middle school. So she's now officially a big kid. And it hit both of us in a different way than I think either of us expected. I expected to be, a sobbing mess. I did get a little teary when they were singing one of their songs because they're still sweet little elementary school kids, so they're always going to sing. One of the songs was from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so that was
Which
their school
one?
play. Pure Imagination.
Oh,
Their school play this year was Wonka.
That makes sense.
It was very sweet, but this first one was not the Wonka song, but it was all about like letting go and growing up. I'm like, you can't sing that, and so I'm like, I don't even think all the parents had sat down yet, and I'm already like blotting tears. But the rest of it was just really lovely, and she goes to such a great school. But at the end, where I expected her to be all excited because she's graduated, she was really sad and was crying for about a half an hour. So it was really, it was a lot. So I just held her, and I said, you can always come back and visit, and all that stuff. I mean, her new school's literally equidistant, walking wise, from our house. So like, you're not going any further away, and all these people are going with you. So it hit her really hard.
Do you think, and don't you don't need to psychoanalyze your daughter, but do you think it was the like, hey, I'm leaving, the familiar thing? Was it teachers? Was it the like, hey, it's the unknown? Is it?
I actually think it was a combination of things, because at one point I asked him, like, are any of these happy tears? And she said some of them are happy tears, but most of them were sad tears, because she goes to a really special school. And they did a whole slideshow of photographs of from kindergarten until now, which that was such a trip to see all these kids, because this was the COVID kindergartners. So they started kindergarten, and then the world shut down, and then they didn't go back until midway through 1st grade. And like, even then it was only part day, and then they all had to be masked. So all these things you kind of forget about. But we got to see the pictures of it. But it also proved what a special place that this school has created for all of them, special environment. So for her, it was a little bit of sad to be leaving that, a little bit nervous about the unknown, because they're going to go visit the middle school today, but she's pretty nervous about having to learn a whole new place that is much, much bigger than her little tiny school.
Yes, it's a big shift.
It's a huge shift, because now they're going to be like having a homeroom and switching classes, and it's big. What about you? What did you go through this week?
Well, we've talked about on the pod before that for this school year we set it up where Wednesdays in a normal week, which those don't exist all that often.
I think you've had like 4 this academic year.
not a lot of uninterrupted weeks. But in a week that kind of the default is Wednesdays would be a one-on-one day for me with our oldest, Levi, because he goes to kindergarten in the fall. And so we actually we had the choice of like, hey, are we going to send the twins to daycare 3 days a week, or are we going to send Levi to daycare 3 days a week? And the other one would go 2. And Levi had done 3 days a week the previous year. So we actually we decided to bring him down from 3 down to 2. And the twins at 3 from the very beginning, which was more than we did for Levi. Like when Levi first started, we only had him going 2 days a week. And obviously there's a lot of back and forth on it. It was certainly more expensive to send the twins
Yep.
for the extra day,
Mm-hmm.
because we're paying for two of them instead of just one. So it ends up being, and they're more expensive than he was. So it was probably an extra $400 a month or something like that for
That's
us to
up.
do that, which is not a small thing. Maybe not quite that high. So we did that for this school year, and we called it his daddy day, and he would look forward to it. Like, he started to look forward to it, and I looked forward to it too.
Mm-hmm.
And some days were more involved than others. Some days were a little bit more low key. We dropped the twins off at my parents' house, and we'd go to the library for a bit, and then we would go to a playground or do something and do that. But we also went to Boston for his birthday, and we did the aquarium.
Oh, I love the aquarium. It's so fun.
But we get to have these one-on-one days together, which certainly had their moments of challenge, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a very different environment. And I think I've said this before, where like one kid is one kid, two kids is three kids, and three kids is six kids.
Yes.
That's my math on it. And so anytime we have all three kids together, it's just like keep them from killing each other, basically. It feels like. When we have two kids, it's like they actually will play relatively well together. When it's one kid, it's a totally different experience. Like being able to like totally focus. I don't have to worry about the dynamics of this kid and this kid, and my attention is not split. Like, I'm able to just give the full attention to the one in front of me, and it's a totally different experience. And our kids love it, right? Because they're so used to like being with other ones. Like, when they
so
get that
special.
special time, it's like, it's so lovely for the most part. Like, there's certainly hard moments, but it's generally a lovely time. And so I got to have this every week for this year.
That's magical.
And this week was our last one in terms of like regularly scheduled, because this is the last week of school. We go into the summer schedule next year. So I'm still not going to work on Wednesdays, but all three kids are going to be home on Wednesdays. So we're going to divide and conquer, or whatever it is. We're going to do stuff as a family. Maybe we'll get one of them to go visit a grandparent or whatever, but like, we're also giving the grandparents the summer off in terms of like general structure. And so it's going to be like, I'm still going to have one-on-one days with him, but like a full day from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, probably not a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
And also certainly not with the regularity that we've had it. And I didn't register this until like halfway through the morning on Wednesday. That I was like, this is the last one.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but like poignant or appropriate that he had on the back half of his day, he had his kindergarten orientation, or they call it Kinder Connect. So it was like a 90-minute thing where they just went in and they probably met some of the teachers and they had some activities. I think it was on the step up day in the elementary school. So all the other kids were like up at their next grade level sort of thing. And so I dropped him off in the school pickup line and picked him up like I'm going to do for the next 3 years. So our elementary school is split. So they go K through 2 and then 3 through 5 at a different school, which is like literally right next door.
Yeah. That's a great school, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
I taught there for a while.
I know.
Good place.
So I did that this week, and it was a similar thing in that I was like, how in the world did we get here? Because he was just, like, how did we have a kindergartner?
I think he was born a minute ago, like, maybe 2 minutes ago.
Just unbelievable that we're here.
I honestly remember that moment, the kindergarten orientation drop off, being more impactful to me as a parent than today's 5th grade graduation, because that's like the first time that they're really leaving you.
I was generally okay
Mhm.
with that, like with that one.
Mhm.
I think when it's like his first day of school,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a moment, I
Yeah.
think. Because it
It's
was
different
like
than daycare. It's different.
it's different. Well,
Yeah.
because like Megan was like, "Did you talk how did he do?" And I was like, I
Oh
got
no.
I don't like it's not like I saw like when it's daycare I go in and I see the teachers. I was like, "Hey, how was his day?" And with the younger kids, I get pictures. I get pictures from the twins. I have updates like when they go to the bathroom. Like
Yeah.
I have all this stuff with even with Levi, even still in preschool, I'll get like a picture or something like that. I have an idea of what's happening, and I go in and I walk in and I talk to the teachers. How was his day? Like, and they're like, he had a great day, and I'm like, cool. And I see him playing when I walk in. I like get to see him playing with his friends, see the twins playing with their friends, and they run up to me, Daddy, it's here. It's like I'm not gonna. It's the school pickup line. It's gonna be whoever's on pickup duty that day is gonna be like Levi, and then walk him over to the car, and I'm gonna have to get self-reported from my 5-year-old what I was like, hey, what did you do? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it already started.
That does not get any better. How was your
No,
day? Fine. What'd
yeah.
you do? Nothing. That's pretty much every day.
Like I'm not it's gonna be the detachment piece of it. And I think also because like we sandwiched that 90 minutes in the middle of a daddy day. And also he had been like kind of a little bit of a jerk to me in the hour leading up to it because he didn't want to go because he was doing something. And he was like, I don't want to leave this to go to kindergarten. But then he was all pumped when he left, right? And then we went and we got ice cream in downtown Exeter, and it was like a moment that was great. But it was we've talked about all the time, like the days are long, but the years are short. And I think the main lesson that I took out of that for me, that was like the reminder, is exactly that, which is, hey, daughter graduated, like she started kindergarten yesterday.
It's what it feels like. Yeah.
Like, and it's time is funny in that way. And the day-to-day experience can feel agonizing.
Yes.
And it can feel like we're not making any headway, and like we won't actually ever get out of it. Our experience won't be any different. And so my thing that I've been talking a lot about with clients, and I give this analogy a lot, which is like, it's like watching hair grow. Watching your kids grow up is like watching your hair grow. Watching your fitness journey, weight loss, whatever it is like watching your hair grow. You don't notice it growing because you're so used to it. You're in it every day. You look in the mirror, you're like, I don't feel any different. I don't look any different. And I think I've told this on the podcast where Megan had the like crazy haircut. And she's like, I can't believe how short my hair still is. And then we look at a picture of where it was, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's grown a lot. But you don't notice it because you see more about the gap between where you are and where you want to be than where you are and where you've been. And so taking the time, because these were opportunities for you and me to reflect and be like, wow, we have come a long way. And we get those moments of nostalgia and remembering and reminiscence and appreciation for how far it's come and all of these things. And it's like, man, it would probably be good for us to do that more often. It would probably be good for us to experience that more often. Because in the moment, in the day, I think we have the hard outweighs the good.
Often.
It just,
that's what it feels like.
It gets like because it's right in front of us, and it's
very easy. We focus on it. It's easier
100%.
to focus on that.
Easy to focus on it. And again, we've talked about this where like if you say something, like people will just like, how are you doing? I'm tired. I'm busy. Like people are going to resonate more with the negative than the positive. Like, I'm doing great. Yeah. It's, and like Megan and I, even if you look at our texts when we're doing it, it's like we're probably more often going to send each other the like so-and-so's being a brat than so-and-so's being awesome.
I'm so curious. I'm going to look back to my text with John while you're talking, just because I'm curious. I know my last one was telling him, as I was coming up to my office, I'm in the attic, I had like my arms full of stuff, and I fell up the stairs.
Yeah.
And I landed so hard on my bad knee that I thought I dislocated it.
Yeah.
But it was just like numb from the impact. And I'm like, God, that's my day.
Yeah.
But
So
I didn't tell him about all the great things that happened before that.
No.
I'm like, let me tell you about how I fell down.
And we've talked about this. I forget which episode we talked about this, but like it was the Simon Sinek quote of like, you probably have fewer friends that you would tell that you won an award.
Oh, yeah.
Than something bad happened to you. And it is easy to focus on those things. But I had this experience last night, and it was somewhat surreal to me. So, we're, the kids are getting a little bit older now, and the landscape of our life is going to shift a little bit with Megan leaving, taking a leave of absence for teaching next year, and all of these sorts of things, and thinking about what our kids need, and thinking about, hey, probably get Levi into some sports here pretty soon, some organized sports like soccer, whatever. And I got together with my dad last night. I don't often get to do one-on-one time with my dad, like maybe ever. But I was just like, Megan she was out of the house she was going to be out of the house a lot of nights basically this week. And I was like, hey, I know that I knew she was going to be tired yesterday because it was like her field day. But last night was the only night that she was going to be home. And I was like, hey, I know you're going to be tired. I'd like it if it was possible to just get out of the house. Because I'm okay. Like I can be here, but like doing the next couple nights, I'm going to get a little burnt, I think, with the kids. After last night and the 2 nights before that, like I think I'm just getting a little burnt. And I felt badly because I was like, I feel like I could be here tonight to help, and I know she's tired, but she's like, go do it. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I was like, I'll just message my dad and I'll see if he's retired now. And he's like, I'm going to get back into golf. My dad hasn't golfed since I was 10 years old. He doesn't have any clubs anymore. I was like, yeah, just come to the driving range. You can use my clubs. I haven't played at all this year. I was like, we'll just go hit a couple balls and have a drink or two. And it was great. Like I don't get to do one-on-one time with my dad. Get to is a strong word. I don't intentionally plan one-on-one time with my dad as much as I would like to. But we were having the conversation. It was a surreal moment where I was like having a conversation about being a father with my dad. And I haven't fully processed this yet. But I was talking to him about coaching because my dad coached me a lot as a kid. I promise I have a point to this.
No, I like your stories.
My dad coached me a lot as a kid. He coached me, he coached my brother, particularly when we were little. But my dad coached me all the way through like my junior year of high school. He was my assistant baseball coach. I think it was my junior year, sophomore or junior year of high school. He was my assistant baseball coach. Like he coached all sports, everything. And I was thinking about it because Megan has asked me a lot, like, would you coach? Because I used to coach, right? Like I was a
yeah, you did that. You were paid to do it.
I was paid to do it. I was like, there's an alternate universe where Jeff is still a teacher and a head football coach for a Division I program in New Hampshire. Like there's an alternate universe where that exists. And it's not a far-fetched universe. It was basically, I was 1 year away from that reality, essentially. If I had taught for one more year, that would have been what happened. And we wouldn't live where we live. There's a lot of things that might have been different had that happened. This podcast wouldn't exist. And so Megan has asked, like, would you ever go back into coaching? I'm like, I can't coach the way that I did while our kids live at home. Like, I will not coach football while our kids are at home. Because to do it to the way that I need to do it, it's too much time.
It's a little all
too much time. It's whatever. She's like, well, would you ever coach the kids? And I've been 50-50 on it because there's a part of me that desires to just be able to be dad, to just be, their cheerleader and empathize with them in struggle, and also be able to like listen to your coach sort of thing. And there's the part of me that's like, I don't know if I want to like muddy the waters at all of like the dad, kid, coach, player relationship. But I was thinking about it when I was talking to my dad last night, and I had this realization. I was like, because I saw that with other kids and their dad, where like I was on the team and another kid's dad was the coach. And you saw moments when it wasn't coach player, it was father son. And it just gets muddy.
It does. Yeah.
And I was like racking my brain about it. And I asked my dad last night, I was like, I'm not remembering, and maybe I'm misremembering, and this is a telltale sign that like we often remember just the overall versus the momentary. Because I'm sure that this happened, right, where there was those moments where I was like, I don't remember us having like father-son challenges when you were coaching. Like I remember it being just an incredibly positive thing. Like, I can't think of a moment. All of my memories of my dad as my coach are positive. Like 100% of them. And not 100% of my memories with my family are positive, like that just isn't the case.
That's not reality.
But I cannot think of a negative memory with my dad coaching. And I don't know how he received this sort of thing, but I'm willing to bet that was probably a good thing for him to hear.
Yeah.
And it was cool to have that conversation because he like literally gave me advice as a dad. He was like, this was what my experience was. And there were a lot of benefits to it. And this was my posture in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do a lot of coaching you. Like he was never my head coach when it was competitive.
Mm-hmm.
He was an assistant coach when it was competitive, like high school or whatever it was. But he was never the one making decisions when it was competitive. He was the head coach when it was, T-ball. Sort of like, and like elementary school level stuff. And he we intentionally kept you out of the super highly competitive sports leagues when you were a kid. Because I grew up in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got made fun of for this.
There's a different level of sports than up here.
Yeah, like the Little League in Atlanta is not a joke. Like the suburbs of Atlanta Little League, like there are kids that played in my Little League that are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there are kids that graduated from my high school that play in the NFL. Like if I had gone to the high school that I had been at, like it was high level sports.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, you would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have been able to, but like I didn't want to you would have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the takeaway for me within the whole conversation was as I was talking to him, I had the realization that my memories of coaching with my dad were entirely positive.
It's just so lovely.
But I'm willing to bet that there were some moments that weren't. Like I'm almost 100% positive.
I'm sure he remembers the ones that weren't.
I'm sure he does.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back to this piece, the days are long, but the years are short. In the moment, it feels like this is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the biggest thing and the whatever it is. But when we zoom out and we see the big picture, we see trends. We see intention. We see posture. We see the way that it's shown up versus the moment by moment stuff of like, my dad didn't make every game, but my dad was at a lot of games. He was certainly at the ones that mattered, but my dad wasn't at every game. He couldn't be. That's an unrealistic thing. And I'm sure that in the moment, it felt kind of crummy. Like, my dad doesn't care. But if I zoom out, like, of course my dad cared. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this was a moment that happened. This was wild to me. But this showed kids, but it's also us. Right? It was Monday. On Monday, the twins go to my mother-in-law's house. She's called Grammy. This is Megan's mom. And Levi goes to my mom and dad's house, Gigi and Papa. And Levi came home a little bit later, but Parker got a new shirt from Grammy. Or no, a new book. Charlie got a new book. That's what it was. Charlie got a new book from Grammy. And Levi wanted to read it. Charlie said no. And we have, I don't know if this is the right rule or not or whatever it is, but we have like a thing where it's like, hey, on the day that you get a gift, you don't have to share it.
I think that's fine.
Like, I'm not going to, like, that is your thing, right? And so he was like upset because he didn't get it. He's probably overtired and overstimulated. There's other things, but it's bedtime. And he's like, I wanted the book from Charlie. And I hadn't yet told him that it was a gift. I was just like, no, Charlie's having a turn with it, whatever it is. But then finally I was like, no, that was a gift for Charlie from Grammy. And so she gets to have it. You know how you get gifts? And he lost his mind because he's like, I want a gift from Grammy. And he went all the way to, and I didn't tell Lindsay this, and she doesn't listen to the podcast, so she won't ever. He was like, Grammy doesn't love me. She never gives me gift, right? Like he was in that level he was in
There's
that
no
level
arguing with that.
Like just full meltdown. And I'm like, I feel so bad. Like he's so emotionally wrecked by this thing that he is willing to, in this moment, how I feel trumps every other piece of evidence of everything that's ever happened. Because he and Grammy have just an incredible relationship. Yeah. She watched him 5 days a week when he was first born. Like, he adores her. Like, honestly, is probably his favorite person in the world. Like, certainly, like, would he pick Grammy versus mommy and dad? Probably. Grammy. Like, like, adores Grammy, adores my mom and dad, adores my father-in-law, like adores all of them, like any of those people. But like Grammy is so lovely. It was like, like I broke this kid, and I was like, what do I do? And also like silly me for saying it was a gift, but there's no
predicting that though.
No, but it was like, you know, whatever. But it was the moment where how I feel in the moment, we can get so zoomed in on the thing that's happening right in front of us that we have the inability to zoom out and see the whole landscape of what's happening. And I think that what we experienced is forced opportunities to zoom out. But an hour before that, before I dropped Levi off, and he's like, he literally said to me in the car, this was our interaction in the car. We're leaving Stratham Hill. So we went to the playground. Listen, this is our day. Went to the playground. I pushed him on the tire swing for, I'm not exaggerating, 25 minutes.
Did you go to Planet Playground?
Planet Playground. Right down the road from us. New Planet Playground. New playground.
Oh, like, I'm so excited to go to that.
It's awesome.
I can't wait.
Then we went on a hike at Stratham Hill. Had a blast. Get in the car, and I'm like, okay, we're going to go home. We're going to have some lunch, and then you're going to go to your kindergarten. You're going to go to kindergarten. And he's like, I don't want to go to kindergarten. And I was like, okay, well, I can appreciate that, but at the same time, like, we're going to go, but we'll get you some lunch, and then we can maybe do something afterward. But I know you can do it. I know it's a little scary, but, like, we can do it. You know, I'm trying to, like, hype him up, whatever. He's like, I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And then finally, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to argue with you about this. If you're frustrated, that's fine. But like, I'm not like, we're gonna try to speak to each other kindly. And he's like, so we'll just wait to talk. He's like, I don't like you. And I was like, I just didn't say anything. He's like, I don't like you. And
he doubled down.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, I don't love you anymore. Dead serious. Like, that was exactly his tone. Ooh. And I was like, oh, gosh, love that. Like, that's so fun for everybody. After the awesome morning. Right? Like, he's just so zoned in on the thing that he forgets the whole picture. And he's like, you don't love me. You don't even like anything I say. Gosh, dude. And I'm also like, it's very easy for me to be like, well, just great way to finish the daddy day. You know, whatever. Then we go home and he doesn't want his lunch. I don't want my lunch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like, what is the problem with you right now? You know, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous and so dumb. And I very nearly the texting thing. I very nearly texted Megan because we were 2 minutes late to drop off because of this whole argument and getting him in the car. I very nearly texted Megan, great way to start off kindergarten, to be late.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't because I'm like, what is she going to do about it?
Right.
It doesn't
all I would do is stress her out unnecessarily.
Just make her be like, oh, what a bummer, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, just send her. It doesn't do her any good to hear that. Like, that would just be for me. And I can be just an adult and not have to put that on her. But there's times where I put it on her. It's not, you can't not say things, but like, what is she going to do in that moment other than just be stressed? And so, but in the moment, he and I could take that hour out of what ended up being a really positive, awesome day, right? Playground was awesome. The hike was awesome. He had a good time at kindergarten. We went and got ice cream, like, just wonderful. It would have been very easy to be like, this thing. But the ability to zoom out and reflect on, wow, this was a year. This was my last shot at this.
Yeah.
And there's moments where I'm like, man, I feel like I didn't maybe take full advantage of it. Like, I feel like I probably could have done some things better with it, certainly. But somebody said this to me in the comments when I did that post, and it was Carol, actually. So Carol, shout out to you because you listened.
Shout out, Carol.
But she said, like, I can just picture him saying this to his classmates, like telling them about his daddy day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he actually does.
Yeah.
Because he does it with his pre-K friends. Because the previous daddy day, they had a field day at school when they invited him in on a day that wasn't a normal daycare day to come and be part of it. They're like carnival day or something like that. They were like, Levi, you're here on your daddy day. And I was like, oh, it's a really cool thing because that's a zoomed out lens. So I think that there's something to, and this is not a fully formed thought yet, but this has been my experience with a lot of clients where it's easy to be like, all right, I put on a pair of clothes and it doesn't fit me the way that I want to. And it's like, man, I'm not making the progress that I want to. I don't feel good. I don't feel where I'm at. It's an understandable feeling. And we need to zoom out because it's very easy to get head down and look at the thing right in front of us and not see what's out in front of us and the bigger picture of what's happening. Somebody said this to me the other day, or yesterday, actually. I heard this talking about investing, right? But like, what does a kid do when they're trying to ride a bike? They like look down at the front wheel and they look at their feet, right? They're just their head down. They're just like, all right. And then what do they need to do? You gotta look up. You gotta see the whole landscape.
You gotta see where you're going.
So focused on what's happening right in front of you and your tunnel vision. It's so easy to find the flaws, to find the things that are wrong. Like if I took a 1 inch by 1 inch square on your face, as a for instance, you would probably find like 5 blemishes in that. And you just zoomed in on that. You would be like, oh my gosh, my face is a wreck.
This is perfection, Jeff. What are you talking about?
But when we zoom out and you look at your face overall, it's like, oh, okay. Like that's a totally different conversation. Like my hair, like I do this with my hair a lot. Like my hair from here, I think looks like it's relatively put together. But if I go like this, I'm like, dude, what am I doing with this? Like it's all over the place. Like that's not how it's supposed to look. And we have this expectation that the day-to-day experience is going to be what happens overall. And so I think my take on this is we need to create the opportunities to zoom out more regularly.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
So here are some thoughts. And I will be honest with you. I do not do most of these. But that does not mean that they're not good ideas. Because I've suggested a lot of, like, I think that you've probably, hopefully understand from listening to this podcast for a bit, do as I say, not as I do, right? I'm trying to do my best, but like, this is also like things that I've seen work for other people and clients, and I want to be doing them. I just am not executing on them.
Yeah, but it's perfectly valid to share these good ideas.
Yeah. And I also will say that they sound a little bit granola crunchy to some degree, but I do think that they're also still, that doesn't make them less valid.
Getting my note.
I think that taking the opportunity to identify things that you are grateful for and things that you are proud of on a daily basis is incredibly valuable.
Mm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be within that day, but to daily take the opportunity to zoom out and to see something that I'm grateful for and that I'm proud of. And they can be somewhat similar. Like, I'm grateful that I did XYZ, but taking the time, because I'm how old am I? I'm 34 years old.
You just have to do the math.
I did. I literally had to do the math. I'm 34 years old. Yesterday might have been the first time that I expressed my gratitude to my dad that he coached me. Like, in that way.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't know if I did it as a kid.
It may have been a quick thank you, but
it
not...
might have been quick. It might have been, again, with posture, whatever it is. I don't know if I did that. And that's tough, I think, probably for him. Because he might have gone he coached me he started coaching me 30 years ago. My dad might have gone 30 years and wondered if that was a positive thing. So I also think that there's value in doing it for other people, like giving an affirmation or expressing gratitude to somebody else. Because I think that, again, it takes us out of our own looking right in front of us posture, taking the time to be like, oh, look at where I've come from. Look at what I've done. And it's it's not a but, right? You can still feel your feelings of where you're at. Like, today was hard, and I am proud that I did this, and I'm grateful that this happened. And at the same time, because both can be true. You can feel your feelings, like your feelings can be valid feelings, and doesn't necessarily mean that they're facts or indicative of the overall. The other thing that I think is valid within this conversation is also something else that I've been thinking about more and more, because I'm just constantly thinking about how do I parent my kids better, because it's just freaking hard, guys. Like, we have moments where you're like, man, is my kid like why do you do that? Like, what is happening? Like mean or rude or teasing, or, the stuff that I said in the car is like, what the heck is that about? And I'm like, how do I handle that? Like, how do I navigate that in a way that feels productive and useful?
I don't think anybody has an answer to that that's across the board effective.
But I heard this phrase earlier this week, and it kind of rocked me, and I think that it's related to this, which was, and I did a post about this too. Entitlement is the lack of ability to deal with frustration. That's from Dr. Becky, I forget her last name, but she wrote Good Inside, which I have not yet read, but I'm pretty sure I need to read now. She's got Good Inside podcasts, and that's her whole thing, right? But psychologist for parents, basically, or psychiatrist, I forget which one. But, pediatric behavior, adolescent behavior stuff. But I thought about that. I was like, oh my gosh, the implications of that are huge, which is, why do we look down and we get so frustrated by 2 minutes late to drop off Levi for his first ever kindergarten? Why is my response to that level? Like, that's not a big deal. Like, I look back on that and I'm like, that seems silly. That I was so frustrated that I was almost to the point that I was going to text Megan that we were 2 minutes late to a thing that doesn't matter. Like, why did I get that frustrated with that?
Right. And did the teachers care?
No,
probably
nobody
not.
cares. Nobody cares. There were people who came in behind me.
I'm sure.
Right? But it's, why was I frustrated? is because I felt like it should have just gone the way that I wanted it to. I felt this is the lack of ability. I felt entitled to a kid who would listen to me when I told him what to do. This is my realization, right? But that's literally what we do as parents.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve a kid who listens to me. That's what our not ability to deal with the frustration of them being kids is indicative of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting what I deserve. And that's a nose down
Mm-hmm.
moment. That's what my nerves is for coaching, and you know what I mean? All of these things. It's like I don't want my kid to feel entitled and have to deal with that sort of thing. And it's like, all right, well, how do you combat the lack of ability to deal with frustration? How do you combat I look down and I feel frustrated, and in the moment it doesn't feel good? How do I zoom out? The other piece of it is you have to practice the ability to deal with frustration in a controlled environment, so that when you are faced with things that frustrate you that are not in your control, it's not an unfamiliar feeling. Entitled kids, right? You think about like the what we immediately think of when we think of entitled kids, bratty kids, like, oh, I'm not gonna, like, I deserve this, I'm not gonna do that, think of rich kids who is like, oh my gosh, how could I'm gonna write coach, you couldn't possibly, you know what I mean? Like, this is not alligator skin, I will never, like that, the like dramatized, or like, I haven't watched Schitt's Creek, but like Schitt's Creek sort of vibe.
I'm surprised you haven't still.
I've heard great things about it. I just,
It's
like,
your kind of humor.
I can't commit to a show because it'll become my entire personality, right? Like, I have an obsessive personality, and I will just, yes,
No.
everybody knows this about me. This is why I don't have Oreos in the house. This is why I don't start new shows. It's because I don't have the ability to, like, pace myself. It will become my entire personality. I will get no work done.
Yes.
You will not see me. I will not record a podcast for 2 weeks until I finish the show.
I'm currently binging Handmaid's Tale. I know I'm super late to the party there, but like I couldn't watch it when it was out. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. I've heard that it's very good, very intense, but very good.
Very intense, but I think you would love Schitt's Creek if you ever decide you need to
at
binge
some
watch
point.
something.
I'm sure I can, get myself into it. I need to do it with Megan so that she kind of like paces me a little bit, where like Megan's the only circumstance where I can watch it.
You're a Ted Mullins, by the way.
Okay, cool. I don't know what that means.
It's a compliment. He's the best.
Okay. But the idea of them, right? Like, we're rich, and then we go into a non-rich setting, and they're like, they don't know how to deal with it because their circumstances, anytime they were dealt, frustration came up, it was immediately removed from them.
Yep, someone dealt with it for them.
Somebody dealt with it for them. And now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, hey, you can offload stressful things to things, but if you never deal with hard things, when hard things come up that are outside your control, it's an unfamiliar feeling. And anytime you have an unfamiliar feeling, you're going to be dysregulated. And when you're dysregulated, you don't respond with measure. You respond disproportionate to the thing. That's why when you like stub your toe and you like lose your friggin' mind, and you're like, that feels like it was a disproportionate response.
Overreaction.
That was like the Andy from The Office. Like, that was an overreaction, like when he punches the wall. Like, that's the idea of like, I don't know how to deal with frustration. I am entitled to this being easy or whatever it is. Like, this should go this way, and then it's not. That's where we get to when we go zoom down on the moment. Can you hear me still?
Oh yeah. My headphones are hurting my ears.
Okay. You started doing this, and I was like, oh gosh, am I out?
No.
When we're zoomed in, when we're like narrow focused, it's because we can't see the bigger picture, and we're frustrated by the current situation, and we feel like we're entitled to not. So how do we do better at zooming out? We practice being frustrated. How do we practice being frustrated? We intentionally choose hard things, and we sit in it. This is why working out is a beneficial thing. because it's like forcing yourself into it. But like the example that she gave was like, or this happened the other day. Levi was trying to color something. He was trying to draw something. Dinosaur. It was probably a dinosaur. That feels like a safe bet. Right? He was trying to draw a dinosaur, and it wasn't looking the way that he wanted it to look. And he got frustrated. He's like, this is heartbreaking to watch and hear as a dad. Sometimes it's my fault, but like this one was like, he's like, it's all my fault. I ruined it. And I was like, oh my gosh, kid. Like, he's like, I'm bad at drawing. And I'm like, oh. And again, that doesn't seem like an entitled thing to say, but it is, in the sense of he thinks it should just go this way. And I have the opportunity, and this was like reflecting on it, I have the opportunity to kind of let him sit in the frustration and try to like challenge him to work his way through it. Or I have the ability to take it away from him and be like, no, I'll do it for you. Like, let me draw it for you. And there are times where I've gone both ways. Right? Like, this is not, but if he can navigate his way through the frustration, how does he feel on the other side? Now he's proud of himself versus just satisfied in the moment.
Right.
Because even when I have colored it for him, it's not actually all that satisfying. And he still gets frustrated. And now it's actually my fault because I draw it and it's not how he envisioned it. Right? Because he gets focused on the outcome rather than the process. Like, kids inherently get this. This is so funny to me because I'm tying together posts from this week that like we're all kind of a little disjointed in my head, but these are the things that I've been thinking about. Kids get that the process, that the playing is the whole point. The game is the whole point. The process is the whole point. Like, there's no actual point to the game, like winning or losing. It's just like, we're just playing. We're just playing. Like, we did a thing where I like taped together a paper towel roll and a toilet paper roll, and I held it up like a telescope.
Spyglass?
Yeah, a looking glass, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so close. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did you get so far away? And he like laughed his head off, and he's like, do it again, do it. 25 minutes that we did this. Because there's no point to it. It's just the fun of the doing the game. And the only times that he really gets frustrated is when he's focused, he has an outcome in his head. Like he's trying to build something and it's not working the way that he wants to. And so I'm bringing this all together in my head here, right? So frustration often occurs when we have an outcome that we expect and it's not happening, and we're focused on the outcome rather than the process. And when we get that frustration, we don't know how to deal with it. We haven't practiced the frustration of like, the outcome actually is a long way away. And even if I get it, it's probably not going to be that satisfying. And I remember that the process is the whole point. But when we get that feeling of frustration, we don't know how to deal with it. That's that entitlement piece of it. And we look down at the moment and we live in the moment. And then we discount all of the other things that are happening as a result of it. And it's my fault. I'm not good at anything. Grammy doesn't love me. All of these things like these. And we can be like, oh my gosh, these kids are so dramatic. And oh my goodness. And it's like, no, you're so the same damn way.
Right. Yeah, we are.
I'm the same way. Like, oh my gosh, the kids, like Levi's such, I literally sound like Levi's such a jerk. And I'm like, no, he's not a jerk. He's 5.
Right. And he's
5.
Feeling his feels.
And he doesn't know how to deal with it. And like, whose responsibility is that? To teach him how to deal with frustration. And also, like, this is the thing that like is the kick in the teeth, man. I can't get mad at my kids for like, hey, this is how you ought to deal with it. Like, we don't scream at people when we get frustrated. Like, we don't hit things when we get frustrated. But when I'm overstimulated and everybody's screaming and crying and nobody's listening, and I'm like, ah, they look at your actions. And what am I teaching them? And the idea that we have to learn to sit in the frustration. We have to learn to embrace the process. We have to learn to zoom out and recognize that frustration and the process and doing it is the whole point. It's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it all the way home.
You can do it.
When we have the opportunities that you and I had this week to reflect, how do we feel? We feel nostalgic and we zoom out and we go kind of like, oh man. And we like wonder, did we do it the right way or whatever? And oh my gosh, it's happening so fast. The opportunity in those moments, though, is to remember that walking them through these milestones and them growing up is the whole point. It's the whole point. And it's hard and it's weird to all the feelings, but the process of getting to walk through it with them is the whole point. And the day-to-day momentary struggles and frustrations and all of that are the whole point, because we want to raise them to be capable of their own. Like, hey, I want my kid to not be entitled, to be a good person, to be empathetic and all of these things. Like, then they have to be frustrated. They have to go through these milestones. We have to zoom out. We have to do all these things, because then in 30 years, when you sit down and have a conversation with your now grown child who is experiencing all of this for the first time himself, you might hear and be able to reflect for the first time, that was an incredibly positive and grateful thing. But wouldn't it have been better if I could have done it more frequently along the way? Because I think he deserved that.
Yeah.
So take the time to be grateful, to express your gratitude, to tell yourself the things that you're proud of as you're going through the process and the frustration and the milestones, because that is going to help you take your head up and to zoom out, see the full picture, and you realize it's a lot more to be grateful for than maybe we realized in the moment. I don't know if I brought it all together in the way that I thought I did. But
I think it was beautiful.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I wrote this today, but you and I haven't recorded one since I recorded the 100th podcast. I'm grateful for all of you who listen, but I'm grateful for you, Amy, because this podcast wouldn't exist without you. And I want to make sure that
Thank you.
I say that.
I think it's more fun to talk to somebody.
Yeah. But I think, I didn't know what it was until you joined.
I'm glad I could be a part of this. It's fun for me.
I'm grateful that you're here. I'm proud that we've made it to whatever episode number this is, whenever it goes live. But well over 100 episodes now. Not well over, but we're over 100 episodes now. And I think in the moment, Terry, day to day, I think that this podcast is an example of embrace the process. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening. Please do all the things that you do with podcasts, like, rate, subscribe, share with a friend. And I'll quote Pat McAfee here, right? Be a friend, tell a friend that you love them today. It's a rough quote, but like, reach out to somebody. You might just make their day. I'll talk to you soon.